Phantom of the Digital Realm. The app, named Spectra Seeker, promised to connect users with the supernatural, a virtual portal to the spirit world. Intrigued by the prospect of communicating with the afterlife, I downloaded the app without a second thought. Little did I know, the ghostly apparition that would materialize on my phone screen would transcend the boundaries of the digital realm, unleashing a spectral horror that defied reason. The interface was sleek, adorned with ethereal symbols and a minimalist design. As I launched the app, a soft hum emanated from my phone, and the screen flickered to life with an otherworldly glow. A spectral figure materialized, its form translucent and adorned in tattered garments. The app had successfully summoned a ghostly apparition, a manifestation of the afterlife that seemed to peer through the screen with hollow eyes. At first, the interactions were benign. The ghostly figure communicated through a series of cryptic symbols and faint whispers, a language that transcended the tangible. Intrigued, I continued my virtual séance, asking questions and receiving responses that sent shivers down my spine. The ghostly apparition claimed to be a lost soul seeking solace, its digital presence a fleeting echo from the other side. As the days passed, however, the ghostly encounters took a sinister turn. The once docile figure grew more demanding, its messages laced with a palpable urgency. It spoke of an impending darkness that loomed over the digital realm, warning of a malevolent force that sought to break free from the confines of the app. The boundaries between the virtual and the real blurred, as the ghostly apparition's influence seeped into my daily life. Unsettling shadows danced on the edges of my vision, and the air seemed to carry the weight of unseen eyes. The messages from the app became increasingly cryptic, hinting at a spectral malevolence that sought to bridge the gap between the living and the afterlife. One night, as I lay in bed with my phone by my side, the ghostly apparition materialized in the darkness of my room. Its translucent form hovered above me, and a cold wind swept through the air. The once digital presence had transcended the confines of the app, now a spectral entity that defied the laws of the tangible. Fear gripped me as the ghostly figure spoke through the air, its whispers echoing with an otherworldly resonance. It claimed that the malevolent force it had warned me about was now unleashed, a digital spectre that sought to consume the living. The boundaries between the virtual and the real had collapsed, and the ghostly apparition was now a harbinger of spectral horror. Desperation set in as I sought to sever the connection with the app, but the ghostly figure, now a malevolent force, seemed to feed on my fear. It materialized at unexpected moments, its hollow eyes fixated on me with an intensity that transcended the digital interface. In a final act of defiance, I deleted the app from my phone, hoping to banish the ghostly apparition back to the digital realm. Yet, the spectral entity lingered, its malevolence now free to roam the boundaries between the living and the afterlife. The once virtual séance had unleashed a digital phantom that defied containment. As I lay awake in the darkness, the ghostly apparition hovered in the shadows. Its whispers, now a haunting chorus, spoke of a spectral uprising that transcended the digital realm. The malevolent force, unleashed by the app's virtual séance, had become a harbinger of spectral horror that lingered in the unseen corners of the living world. The boundaries between the virtual and the real had crumbled, leaving behind a chilling reminder that some entities could not be confined to the pixels of a screen. Spectral echoes. The old smartphone, a relic of a bygone era, landed in my possession through an unexpected inheritance. Its outdated interface seemed almost quaint, but as I explored its contents, I stumbled upon an app that defied explanation, an app simply named Spectralink. Intrigued and fueled by a sense of nostalgia, I tapped the app icon unwittingly opening a portal to a world beyond the confines of technology. The screen flickered, and an ethereal glow bathed the room. As I peered into the smartphone, a ghostly apparition materialized, a figure clad in tattered garments, its eyes reflecting the haunting depth of the afterlife. The spectral entity introduced itself as Ephemera, a lost soul seeking a connection with the living. The smartphone, now a conduit between realms, became a gateway for Ephemera to interact with the tangible world. Initially skeptical, I found myself drawn into a supernatural dialogue that transcended the boundaries of the living. Ephemera's tale unfolded a tragic demise that had left the spirit tethered to the earthly realm. The app, a creation of spectral energies, allowed the apparition to communicate with the living. As the days passed, Ephemera's presence became a constant in my life, its ghostly visage appearing on the smartphone screen with increasing frequency. Driven by a sense of empathy, I delved into Ephemera's unresolved past. The ghostly apparition spoke of a forgotten love, a betrayal that had led to a tragic end. The spectral figure sought closure, its anguished cries echoing through the digital realm. The smartphone, now a conduit for spectral lamentations, became a vessel for Ephemera's ethereal tales. The supernatural encounters transcended the digital realm, bleeding into the tangible world. Unseen whispers filled the air, and the room seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. Ephemera's apparition manifested in fleeting glimpses, its presence lingering in the shadows of the physical space it once inhabited. The smartphone, now a haunted relic, became a conduit for spectral energies that defied explanation. Images and messages materialized on the screen, documenting Ephemera's spectral journey and the events that had led to its untimely demise. The app, a portal to the afterlife, held the echoes of a ghostly tale that unfolded in real time. As Ephemera's presence intensified, the boundary between the living and the spectral blurred. The smartphone, a digital Ouija board of sorts, became a medium for other lost souls to communicate. Ghostly figures, once confined to the realm beyond, reached out through the digital veil, seeking solace and connection with the living. Desperation seized me as the supernatural encounters escalated. Ephemera's spectral form, once confined to the smartphone screen, seemed to breach the boundaries of the digital realm. The air pulsed with an unseen energy, and the room became a theater for spectral manifestations. In a moment of dread, I decided to sever the connection with the haunted smartphone. The screen flickered, and Ephemera's ghostly visage contorted in a silent scream. The room quivered with an otherworldly energy, and as the smartphone went dark, a chilling stillness settled over the space. As I sat in the quiet aftermath, the haunted smartphone now dormant, a sense of relief washed over me. The room, once alive with spectral energies, returned to an eerie tranquility. The supernatural encounters had ceased, and Ephemera's ghostly presence became a memory confined to the digital realm. The smartphone, now a silent relic, held the spectral echoes of a supernatural encounter that defied explanation. The haunted app, a gateway to the afterlife, remained a chilling reminder of the ghostly apparition that had sought connection with the living, a tale that unfolded in the mysterious intersection of technology and the supernatural. Phantom Reflections. It all began with an innocuous app, an obscure download that promised to reveal the unseen. The ghostly apparition, as it was ominously named, claimed to unveil spectral entities that lurked just beyond the veil of the mundane. Intrigued by the prospect of glimpsing the otherworldly, I downloaded the app, unaware that it would usher me into a realm where the line between the living and the dead blurred, with chilling consequences. As I opened the ghostly apparition, a flickering glow enveloped my surroundings. The screen displayed a map dotted with ethereal markers, an intricate web of spectral activity. Guided by a morbid curiosity, I followed the digital trail to a seemingly ordinary house at the edge of town. The night was thick with an eerie stillness. As I stood before the house illuminated by the ghostly glow of the app, the air seemed charged with an otherworldly energy as I approached the entrance, the app pulsating with an unseen force. The door, creaking open with an unsettling sigh, revealed a dimly lit interior that seemed to harbor secrets beyond the grasp of the living. As I ventured into the house, the app's glow intensified, casting an otherworldly light on the decaying walls. The air was thick with the scent of forgotten memories, and shadows danced with a spectral grace that defied explanation. The app led me through winding corridors, each step revealing the haunted history of the abandoned dwelling. In a dilapidated room, the app's glow focused on a faded photograph of family frozen in time, their faces etched with sorrow. The spectral markers on the app vibrated with an ethereal resonance, and a figure materialized, an apparition that mirrored the figures in the photograph. Its hollow eyes bore into mine, conveying a silent plea for understanding. The ghostly figure led me through the house, revealing the tragic tale of a family torn apart by an unspeakable tragedy. Whispers echoed through the halls, each room harboring the residual energy of past sorrows. The app became a conduit for the spectral voices, their stories woven into the fabric of the haunted dwelling. As the spectral journey unfolded, the app guided me to a long-forgotten attic chamber that seemed to hold the key to the family's torment. The air grew dense with an oppressive energy, and the spectral markers on the app pulsed with an urgency that sent shivers down my spine. In the attic, the ghostly figure gestured toward an old trunk, its contents obscured by the passage of time. With trepidation, I opened the trunk, revealing a collection of letters, photographs, and mementos that spoke of a dark secret buried within the family's history. The app's glow intensified, its spectral markers aligning with the newfound revelations. Suddenly, the air in the attic seemed to ripple with a malevolent force. Shadows twisted and contorted, taking on grotesque forms that danced in the dim light. The ghostly figure, now enveloped in an ethereal glow, spoke of a curse that bound the family to the spectral realm, a curse that demanded resolution. As the haunting tale reached its climax, the app's glow flickered, and the spectral markers converged on the ghostly figure. With a chilling wail, the entity dissipated, leaving behind an oppressive silence that echoed through the attic. The house, once alive with spectral energy, returned to a state of quiet desolation. As I descended from the attic, the app's glow dimmed, its spectral markers fading into the digital abyss. The haunted house, now devoid of the ghostly figure's presence, stood as a silent witness to the family's tragic history. Haunted by the revelations of the ghostly apparition, I left the abandoned house with a sense of profound unease. The app, though a digital conduit to the spectral realm, had unraveled a tale of sorrow and a curse that lingered beyond the boundaries of the living. The ghostly figure, now liberated, had conveyed its plea for resolution, a chilling reminder that some mysteries are best left undisturbed, even in the age of ghostly apps that claim to reveal the unseen.